Pity point. Pity point. Pity. You're right. Hi, everyone.
Hello. Come on.
Austin Matthews.
Mono. Wizardry. And
Well, time for a rebuild.
this team is ruining my life.
Hey, did you see the Leafs game last night? Oh my god, they lost their first game by 1 goal in overtime. We should probably trade the coach and trade all the goalies. Then I don't know why they started. Shut the f*** up. It's the first game.
Leafs lose 3-2. No, I can't. You get off my wall, Braden. No. Bad. We're going Big Willie style on this one, all right? Michael Nylander's kid. Let's go. That's where Willie goes, right there. Ah, much better. Look at that. And you get in the drawer. You get in the stupid. Leafs lose 3-2 in overtime in Game 1 of their Eastern Conference quarterfinal series with the Washington Capitals. How's it gonna spin this one? First things first. Leafs lost. I think I already said that a couple times. Leafs lost the first game of the series. They are down 1-0 in the series. There is no point for an overtime loss. There is no point for a shootout loss. There is no shootout. These are the playoffs. It's a different beast. You win or you lose. So for all the people who were like, oh, it's the playoffs, it's a different beast, it's a win or lose thing, you can't make any excuses. All right, they're Vin Diesel from the first Fast and the Furious. I'm trying to make a video here. First things first, you start the games. You get the flickering, get the flickering sticks things in the stand. Leafs got the smelling salts. Let's go. And what did I tell you? All the pressure on the Caps, none of the pressure on the Leafs. House money, and that was evident in the first 2 minutes. Now this game was a lot about luck and bounces, and we're gonna go through each of those on these goals. Just a $1.35 into the game. JVR. Great A-scoring chance. Braden Holtby stops it. Puck goes wide. JVR throws it in front. Nice bounce out to Marner, who's wide open. He puts it into an open cage. His first career NHL playoff goal, and the Leafs of all teams, Leafs in 3 are up 1-0. Now, I call the Capitals' first 2 goals lucky bounces, and then a lot of people fired back saying that this was a lucky bounce. Well, let's talk about that for a sec. Was JVR's pass to Marner a lucky bounce? Sure. But it followed a grade A scoring chance. And yeah, it took a bit of a miracle bounce off the goalpost, but how doesn't Braden Holtby have that gap cut off? He's lucky that pass didn't go in. And after that bounce, Marner's got a wide open net. Well, whose fault is that? So to me, that was a nice combination of luck and making your own luck. The Leafs look way better in the first 2 minutes, and they're up 1-0. Still less than 10 minutes in, the Leafs are keeping the pressure on. Holy smokes, who is this team? This blue beast, this monster, unleashing the fury all over the Capitals. Jake Gardner, Harlem Globetrotters in the slot. Who's gonna take it off of nobody? Kadri traffic in front. Gardner shoots it. That goes past Braden Holtby, and guess what? 2-0 game. What do you mean they waved it off? The refs look at the replay on their little Nintendo DS or whatever, and they determined that there was no goaltender interference on the play. 2-0. Because it was Holtby who initiated contact with Kadri. So we got 2 goals here where the Caps cannot contain the Leafs. Holtby has to bail his team out and then ultimately can't. Now the Leafs find themselves in a place they have been 1,000 times this season with the lead, with a multi-goal lead. And it was very interesting because, again, the Caps looked terrible to start this game. They're whiffing on everything. They fanned on so many shots, putting passes in their teammates' feet. Ugh, just terrible body language. And that doesn't change. The pressure stays on the Capitals until at least halfway through the second. What does change a little bit, though, is the loosey-goosey run-and-gun feel of the Leafs puckers up because now they have the lead. So many times this season, the Leafs and leads have been like a cat climbing a tree. On your way up, it's look what I can do. And then once you're up there, nuts. Brian Boyle takes an interference penalty. All of a sudden, the Leafs are down 1 man and a very important one. About 30 seconds later, Zach Hyman takes a tripping call. There's another important penalty killer lost, and it should have been Komarov, who was arguably a more important penalty killer. Now the Leafs have a 5-on-3 to kill. And now we talk about the 2-1 goal. Puck thrown out in front for Shattenkirk. He's gonna blast it, and Kevin Shattenkirk's stick shattered Kirk's, which causes the puck to just kind of float in front of the Leafs net. And I don't know if they would have been able to clear the zone, but both Connor Brown and Roman Polak were so close to at least swiping the puck clear of the net. Polak instead just this little poke, and it goes on to TJ Oshie's stick. He sets up Justin Williams, that goes in the net, and it is now just a 2-1 lead. So there's hockey for you. Kevin Shattenkirk breaks his stick. It's unlucky at the tail end of a 5-on-3. And it turns into a lucky bounce somehow. So to call this goal lucky, I don't know if that's true, but it is fair to say that two things happened here directly leading to the goal that the Capitals didn't even mean to have happen. But it was off a broken stick play from Kevin Shattenkirk, so maybe it's another case of luck because you made your own luck. To first intermission we go. By the way, the Leafs lead. It's still a little bit disappointed because you score that first goal in the first 2 minutes. The Capitals, ooh, and then the second goal, and then it's called back, okay, we're good, and then, oh my god, it counts again! And then the Capitals' bread and butter is the power play. They get a 5-on-3 opportunity. Imagine if you kill that entire thing off, and they head into the first intermission empty-handed with a 2-0 deficit. How do you think the mood in the dressing room is after something like that? Instead, you get a little bit of voodoo wizardry and BS. You get a guy like Justin Williams who has been there before, and he brings you within one. They got to be feeling a little bit better after that. Late in the second period, the Leafs have looked good up to this point, arguably still the better team. Freddie Anderson flashing the mustard. Matt Hunwick puts it off the post, and Holtby had no idea where that shot was. Should have been 3-1 right there. Then on their second goal, once again, the Caps get a little bit lucky by creating their own luck. Caps with sustained pressure, so the Leafs are a little bit jumped. Matt Niskanen just throws a floater on Freddie. It's harmless. It's fine. Freddie has it, which is unfortunate because he doesn't know that. He gets up a little bit, and once again, Justin frickin' Williams. Nylander does not pick him up in front, which is super unfortunate because Justin Williams picks up the puck, pokes it in. It's now a tied game. That lead is gone. And some people going, oh great, dating back to the Columbus game, this is the second straight game the Leafs have blown a 2-0 lead. Stop living in the past. Why are you talking about regular season games for? We did not get this far. We are not playing in the first Leafs Stanley Cup playoffs game in a full season since 2004, so you can talk about a regular season game against Columbus. Was Columbus even a team in 2004? I know they were. Shut up. I'm not nervous. You're nervous. Calm down. I'm calm. And we head into second intermission in a microcosm of the Leaf season, really. You're happy they had a lead. You're upset they lost it. Freddie looked great. Freddie made a big mistake. Nylander's flying. Nylander missed a guy. Leafs not getting pushed around. 3 penalties to 1. And of course, you head in with such low expectations and you end up disappointed. And then someone goes, hey, wouldn't you take a 2-2 tie heading into the third, heading into this game? That doesn't matter. They had a 2-0 lead. The me heading into this season did not know the Leafs would make the playoffs. He would have been thrilled to hear it, but he didn't know. Now, me heading into this game would have been thrilled with a 2-2 tie heading into the third. But me heading into this game is an idiot. That guy doesn't know anything. He doesn't know that the Leafs are going to get a 2-0 lead. He doesn't know that the Leafs are going to score 2 minutes into the game. Less. At the end of the second, all I had was me at the end of the second. I saw them get a lead, I watched them blow the lead, and now here we are, tied. Alright, shots 15-12 for the Leafs in the first. Good. 13-13 in the second. Okay. In fact, I'm pretty sure at one point the shots were 13-7 for the Leafs in the second and the Caps evened it up. Making way for the third period, the Caps outshoot the Leafs 13-7. Now, not much changes on the Caps end. I thought they looked terrible in the first period. They still got 12 shots. Second period, they looked a little bit better. 13 shots. And then in the third, they still only got 13 shots. I shouldn't say only because over the course of a game, that's actually quite a few shots. But still, the Caps, not much changes from period to period. Leafs, 15. Very good. Leafs 13. Alright, well you can't be on pace to have 45 shots every 3 periods of play. And then 7. What happened? I thought the Caps' quality of chances did improve. Freddie Anderson had to bail the Leafs out huge in the final minutes of this game, especially. But the Leafs, as they did a few times down the stretch, where's the offense, guys? Where did it go? The third period of this game, and it seemed like in overtime, the Leafs weren't playing to win, they were playing not to lose. Sounds stupid, is literally the same thing, and yet, you know what I'm talking about. Caps 6 shots in overtime, Leafs only 2. Now, why does that matter? Well, because sometimes you just randomly throw the puck on net and it bounces in front and Mitch Marner scores. Sometimes you just throw the puck on through traffic and it goes in. Sometimes Kevin Shattenkirk goes for the shot, it doesn't work out, and then it totally works out. Sometimes you take a shot, you're stopped, the goalie doesn't even realize it, and then you're not stopped anymore. And then sometimes you're Tom frickin' Wilson, you just throw it on, and Freddie looks confused. Tom Wilson wins it in overtime. Wins game 1. Caps are up 1-0. And there's this quote from Mike Babcock from a couple days ago. Oh, Mike, why? Well, at least he didn't read it. Oh, what do you mean he read it? Nah, come on! Well, at least no one's gonna rub it in my face. Oh, Pierre, you're not helping Pierre, come on! Like 40% of the NHL is from the GTA, dude. And so, the Leafs lose 3-2 in overtime. The Leafs lost 3-2 in overtime. That was fun, wasn't it? That was wacky, wasn't it? A lot of wacky bounces. This is exactly why I wanted the Leafs to play the Capitals. In game 1, the Leafs got smacked, but they found out the bully bleeds. And believe me, it's weird referring to the Washington Capitals as bullies because their fans are lovely people. I love you very much. I'm sorry, but the Leafs found out the bully bleeds! The Leafs found out the Caps panic. The Leafs found out the Caps can be hemmed in their own zone. The Leafs found out Braden Holtby can be beaten. The Leafs found out Alex Ovechkin can be neutralized. Where was he? You know what? Ovechkin took a lot of heat. Backstrom too. Where were you? Leafs had good sticks. They were using their sticks. The Leafs were only outshot by 4 shots at even strength in a 4-period game. And are we not forgetting the Caps were on home ice? All of a sudden, a series that looked like it was supposed to be Caps in 3 looks winnable for the Toronto Maple Leafs. And save your tweets of there's no moral victories in the playoffs. Wow, dude, you must be a riot at parties. I don't go to parties because I'm too focused on winning. You weren't invited in the first place. Speaking of not invited, you know what phenomenon I forgot about? I legit forgot about. I was getting chirps all over the place. What's amazing, and again, guys, I told you, Leafs fans, this is why I love Caps fans. I was getting chirp after this loss. 90% of the chirps were from non-Caps fans. I got more chirps from fans of non-playoff teams. Is that what we sounded like when the Leafs didn't make the playoffs? If so, from the bottom of my heart, I am so sorry. It's just so pathetic. This Canucks fan is super thrilled that the Leafs lost. He doesn't even go here. And one more thing on just tips on how to handle the playoffs from someone who doesn't know how to handle the playoffs themselves. Get to understand the difference between a chirp, and someone actually being a jerk. Because nothing looks worse on you, especially after a loss, than someone going, and you going, mother. Because then you just seem mad online. You should not be mad online, nor should you be sucked in by people who are mad online. And this might come as a shock to some of you. There are actually decent people out there who are just trying to have a good time. Be one of those people. So, game 1 is done. Leafs fans' question of the game. Game 1, because we're in the playoffs. We're in the playoffs. How do you feel? Do you feel more confident or less? I'm a hurricane. I'm all over the place. I feel more confident that the Leafs can do things in this series. I mean, in the first place, I thought they could do things. I think it'll take the Caps at least 6. That is if the Caps even win. But I couldn't help but watch this game. I watched the highlights right before making this video. It was agony because I'm left smiling at how well the Leafs did, and I'm going, yeah, they should have won! The Leafs team that got us to this point was not built in a day, and no playoff series has ever been won in game 1. With the Leafs down 1-0 in this series, are you in? So that is it for this one. Thank you very much for watching. Click like if you like this video. Click subscribe if you really liked it. Tell all your friends. And Monday, which is game 3, I'm going to be hosting the Maple Leaf Square festivities. Are you serious? I think I am serious. Are you crapping yourself? Yes. So I could really use your support, so please come down. I'm not nervous for the Leafs. I'm just nervous for the magnitude of it all, okay? I know the Leafs are going to win, all right? Let's go!